Welcome everybody to the first race of the Miata Trophy here at the beautiful Anglesey Track 1 coastal circuit configuration. My name is Andy Webster here to talk you through this this fantastic inaugural year of the Miata Trophy, and this is race 3, and later on we will have race 4 in the championship. That will be the last race of today's proceedings here on the channel. But for now, we're just assembling the grid and getting everybody in race trim and ready. Going 2 by 2, slightly staggered formation, but side by side as we get. And you see the some of the beautiful bright liveried cars. There's car 195 just getting him. Throwing the gestures out there to the cameras. We see that was the second row of the grid, but this will be led away by John Langridge, who featured very strongly in the Brands Hatch races. The winner of both Brands Hatch races. It will not be taking part in this meeting, so the opportunity to gain points and gain position in the championship is absolutely significant for our Miata Trophy entrants. Looking forward to seeing these MX-5s in action very shortly. So John Langridge was the pole sitter, and we have Declan Lee alongside him on the outside entry into the first corner of target, which is taken flat out, but at different lines here. We've got a 1 minute to go board being held up by the starter, so we will be ready for you very shortly. But you can see how beautiful a day it is here at Anglesey. You won't see how little wind there is either, but it really is a very still, calm day. And away from the grid go the cars as we get ready to run. Now the NC Mark III cars, which make up the bulk of the field, well, all but one of the field, will always start in front of the NA Mark 1s. And here we go then with your starting order for the race. It is going to be John Langridge, who starts in car 5 on pole position from Declan Lee, who secured that second position very well in the SuperPole. Next is Jack Sycamore in the 195, who was entertaining us on the grid, from Simon Fleet in 4th place on row 2. On row 3 is Daniel Parron-Smith in car 73, the white entry with the orange flex, and then Alex Miller is on row is in 6th position on row 3. On row 4, Xavier Brooks starts 7th in car 70 from Alex Wilkinson Hughes in P8. The car 101 will start from that 8th position. Then we have on row 5 in P9 Drew Fletcher and Nicholas Stott. And in 11th, Gary Smith and Rich Cooper will start in 12th place. Then towards the back of the grid, we will have Raymond Worley and Judy Worley, father and daughter, taking part in the race in cars 40 and 20 respectively. And a further row back will be our NA Mark 1s of Liam Cochran and Brian Chandler. To start the proceedings. So a really intriguing race, a 20-minute race awaits us here for the Mazda Miata Trophy. Like I say, this is the first year of proceedings, and you can catch up on the previous race on the MSVT channel. But for now, we look forward to seeing how this race progresses. It is going to be John Langridge, Declan Lee, John Langridge on the inside entry. They're similar colour schemes, but white bonnet and boot for John Langridge. And then the 2 blue entries of the car 195, Jack Sycamore and Simon Fleet on row 2. Let's look to get underway as we build up for the lights. The revs build. And it's dropped the clutch and go away from the start. A very even start from the first 2 rows, but Dan Parron-Smith squeezing up the inside, trying to get in the middle, but he's having to bail the throttle on the way through that corner, through target, and hopping over the grass slightly is Declan Lee, who's going to launch one down the inside into the banking and claim that that first position. Manages to make the overtake, but he's compromised on the exit. And as they come through Church Corner for the first time, it is Declan Lee who got ahead of John Langridge very easily, and it runs out wide though this time and kicks out a huge amount of dirt and dust. John Langridge very awake to that one, takes the inside line, but that soon is to become the outside line into Rocket In. Declan Lee might be able to hold on to position here because he'll have the apex side of the corner, and they'll go side by side through that. And as they enter towards Rocket Out, they're still side by side. John Langridge on the inside for Peel Corner as they head towards finishing out this lap and the corkscrew for the first circulation. And there goes John Langridge claiming back that first position. It's back and forth at the top of the order. And it looks like Dan Parent-Smith managed to consolidate his starting position very healthily indeed. Down the hill, through the corkscrew they go. And now John Langridge has managed to get a little bit of a gap to Declan Lee, who hops over the outside curb, certainly getting a little bit of understeer early on in this race, but converting that front row to first and second after the first lap. But Simon Fleet has gone up one position, managed to get past Sycamore. Dan Parent-Smith has dropped one place, and that has promoted Miller in car number 7 as they go through the order. But it looks like on the outside of the banking, one of the whiter liveried cars was struggling away, and it's nip and tuck very close here. That is Langridge defending, going into School Corner now, and it looks like Declan Lee looking for that inside line once again, and he's got further ahead. The front quarter of the car is absolutely ahead as they go into the Rocket In. He locks up the front left slightly, but just about manages to get the nose and the tail just ahead as they go into Rocket Out. And Declan Lee collecting first position at this early stage of proceedings. Through Peel Corner they go, and looks like also just behind them Simon Fleet has got ahead of Sycamore and is staying there for now, but was having to defend slightly. And Declan Lee with the lead of the race, slight under rotation on the way through the corkscrew. See how light the cars get as they transfer the weight through that very difficult corner. I tell you, fighting very hard is Dan Parent-Smith and car number 70, the entry of Xavier Brook, as they try to go through target side by side, but Dan Parent-Smith claims that position and gets his original starting position back again as they head towards the banking again for the next lap, and Dan Parent-Smith ahead. At the head of the field, it is still Declan Lee leading them away from the from Church Corner, and the slower exiting car 55 of Simon Fleet is very much on the defensive, having to defend to the inside as they head towards Rocket In, but he's left the door slightly open, and there might be a look of a move heading in to the corner, but we will keep you updated on that one as car 70 is fighting hard here. That is Xavier, and was there any contact there as they go side by side with car 4? That is Stott, Nicholas Stott, who is trying to fight back, but a really good well-fought battle here. And again, car 70, Xavier Brook really struggling to get that temperature back into the tyres, get the grip back in. But again, Declan Lee will finish out this second lap and start the third as the leader, but only by half a second from John Langridge, from Sycamore and Fleet, and then Parent-Smith in 5th, Miller and Stott. Wilkinson Hughes getting ahead as well through the corner, ahead of Xavier Brook, who had a terrible lap there, dropping 2 positions. Then Cooper Smith, Worley and Fletcher, Cochrane and Worley down in the lower orders at the moment. So Worley, car 14, has had some difficulties. That's Raymond Worley, who is having a so Judy Worley is the foot of the field right now, but hoping to get forward, to move forward. Too many Worleys for me to keep in touch with. Here is then Xavier Brook. I think he's having a problem with that car because he's on the defensive once again, struggling here. So car 101, Alex Wilkinson Hughes, looking for a way past once again. And they will continue to battle then down into Peel. That was the 2 Rocket corners, and this is the Peel corner as they head through. So the slight gap building. So they come through the final corner once again, and Declan Lee still has a lead, but it's still only 0.4 of a second this time. Dan Parham-Smith, though, looking for an opportunity down into target corner. He will put the 55 car of Simon Fleet offline as he'll be compromised, but he'll have to go the long way round. Will Dan Parham-Smith? He's braking early, looking for a switchback or just the high line. I think it will be a switchback move. He's looking for a good exit here to be earlier on the throttle. Will tuck in behind Fleet to try and get a move done as they go through Church Corner. Dan Parham-Smith, the gap stretching slightly, but piling on the pressure now to try and move forward and gain a lot of experience. Just a 17-year-old Dan Parham-Smith, who is only in his second year of car racing, but is doing a very impressive job so far. Had a problem at the end of race 2 in Brands Hatch and gets lights up the rear axle there going through, and he's tried to put the Fleet offline, and he's managing to make that work, but he keeps ending up on the outside of the corners. He's going for the outside move around Peel. Will he be able to make this one work? He's actually losing time to the car behind as they head down towards the corkscrew once again. Will he manage to action a pass, but it's not quite there for him. Car number 7, Alex Miller, right on his tail now. So now Dan Parham-Smith turns attack into defence, unfortunately, as he's actually cost himself a couple of tenths there trying to make those moves and running offline. So deep into lap 5 with 13 minutes to go in the race. It is Lee from Langridge now out to 0.6 of a second, the biggest that gap has been so far. Sycamore on his own in 3rd position, and then Fleet, Parham-Smith and Miller you can see on screen, and soon to be caught by Nicholas Scott as well. So we have Simon Fleet with a better exit this time. Dan Parham-Smith just rebuilding his attempt to overtake. And it's getting very tight and tricky. We've also got Alex Wilkinson-Hughes fighting with Xavier Brook, who's picked up a pace a little bit, but is still very much on the defensive through this next lap. That is looking for the multiple different lines into rocket in and rocket out for Parham-Smith, as he looks to find some momentum against Simon Fleet ahead in the 55 blue and pink liveried NC Mark III. Declan Lee losing a little bit of time, it seems, at least to my eyes, through the corkscrew that time round. But Dan Parham-Smith right with the entry of Simon Fleet. In fact, Parham-Smith going for the move down the inside into the final corner. He's about halfway along, and he couldn't quite get it done, but he's as close as he's ever been here as they head through target. He's not going offline this time. You couldn't even see Dan Parham-Smith. He was so close behind Simon Fleet that time as they went into target. But Parham-Smith then looking for the high line around the outside once again. Is he? He's still trying to find a better exit line. That's not going to cut it this time round. But it's so much pressure on Simon Fleet. And I wonder if that pressure will start to pay, or will both drivers start to chew through their tyres too early. Dan Parham-Smith just looking for that move, looking for the best opportunity, and he gains hugely going through School Corner and up the hill towards Rocket Inn. He's got a really good overlap, much more top speed going through School. Again, looking for the outside line, looking for the switchback this time. It's no good running on the outside if you never actually end up with getting the overlap. But now looking for a big braking manoeuvre going into the Peel corner, and it looks like Dan Parham-Smith has secured that position. Really good. It took a long time to get there, but when he got there, it was a great move going into Peel. Brilliant stuff from Dan Parham-Smith, who promotes himself into provisional 4th position, and then quickly taking no need for a second invitation is Miller, Alex Miller, who gets himself through as well. So once the dam was burst of Simon Fleet's defence, it was as if Alex Miller could just walk his way through. But Dan Parham-Smith already managing to unlock some good pace here at this stage of the race. This is the battle then for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th on screen right now. But Lee still leads the race by just half a second from Langridge. Oh, big sideways moment for car number 7 That is Alex Miller just getting very lively. Didn't seem to lose any time, so we might consider that as a nice line through the corner. It looks like Fleet might have cooked his tyres a bit because he's now defending from car 4. That's Nicholas Scott, who's trying to make a move into the inside. Just about. That was very, very sideways from him, but decisive move nonetheless. Another pink, blue, and but with a black tail livery on car number 4 for Nicholas Scott. Stott, and he completed that move very nicely indeed. Well, it's away from the final corner. Then are your leaders? It's Declan Lee from John Langridge. In the middle, kind of on his own here, is Jack Sycamore, and then we have Dan Parent-Smith in the 73 white entry, with Alex Miller now close behind, but not too close, as Simon Fleet looks to try and recover from what has been a fairly crushing last few laps. Still, close battles throughout the field, and Cochrane currently leads is alone on the NA class, so he just needs to keep circulating to try and make this one a very profitable trip all the way here to Anglesey. Again, Dan Parent-Smith now catching Sycamore in third position, but just putting a lap on a car at the moment, but he is starting to build some pace. Fastest lap is currently holding with your leader, Declan Lee, a 1:20.265 with 8 minutes on our race time clock. Here are your two leaders then. They've been together the whole race. They've swapped round, especially on that first lap. It was a really good battle between the two of them, and John Langridge might just be biding his time here. He managed a very successful Brands Hatch weekend, but a great exit out of the final corner for Langridge, looking for a strong positive line through target, and you can see he's got grip to spare. Declan Lee constantly suffering understeer, always on the exit curbs, but just greedy for that minimum top speed to be as high as possible through the corners, and he's running out wide, losing a little bit, and is that hint of a small weave on the way through as they head towards Church Corner once again, as John Langridge is tucked right in behind Declan Lee and catching, but not able to get the overlap. Moving around in the mirrors as they head up the hill towards Rocket Inn, doing his best to put off Declan Lee, who is defending on the inside line, but always with the ability to put the power down that crucial half a second earlier. Well, it's now down to, when they crossed the line, it was down to a quarter of a second between the two leaders here. I can tell you, he still has the fastest lap, Declan Lee, but I think that might be under threat soon. He's taking a very different line coming through the corkscreen than John Langridge. This is partially in defence here, I think. That's the RC graphics entry on screen of Rich Cooper with the blue tail. Just fighting at the moment for over 10th place in front of him. That is Gary Smith ahead of Rich Cooper. Again with your leaders, Dan Parent-Smith, who's currently in 4th position. Well, there's a big gap through to between 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. Very large gaps indeed. There we have Fletcher moving around in the mirrors of Worley Senior, Raymond Worley here in the number 40 white with yellow accents entry, and very much on the defensive. Can't seem to make a move, and it looks like despite the fact that his daughter Judy is on the tail of them, that she has already been put down a lap. Oh, big moment for John Langridge on the way out of the final corner. He uncharacteristically getting very lively at the rear as they headed through the final corner, but still nose to tail, and there you can see how close it's getting at the front. Things are getting a little bit impatient now for John Langridge. It's time to make the move with just under 5 minutes to go on our race, as they continue to have close battles throughout the grid. Smith defending from Cooper, Worley and Fletcher, and Fletcher getting past Worley that time round. So Worley, Raymond Worley getting deposed by one position, and his daughter just following through a lap down at the moment. This is the battle for the lead. John Langridge down the inside, going for it. They will switch back into Rocket out. Declan Lee really on the throttle, looking for a way, but he knows if he can just stay with him, he'll have the inside line into Peel. They'll need to close the door. He brakes much later going into Peel. Maybe John Langridge, though, setting him up for a switchback, but continuing this close, hard-fought battle at the lead of the race in this race 3 of the championship. This is Declan Lee defending hard and fair so far from John Langridge as they then approach the final corner once again. 3 minutes 43 on the clock, and that will feel like an incredibly long 3 minutes 43 to Declan Lee. Third and fourth places look fairly secure at the moment for Sycamore and Parran Smith, but it could be anyone's for fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. We'll focus on the lead though as it's getting close to the end of our race. It is now just 3 minutes to go as we have Declan Lee continuing this staunch defence. Again, having to lift at least through church and then through school, but all the way through up to the Rocket Inn. It looked like John Langridge was catching, and he's gone for the move. He's gone down, deep down. Declan Lee braking very late. They're both of them very close to the edge of the track, but they both outbraked themselves and each other through there, but it didn't quite make the move. John Langridge is going for the inside move, this time into Peel. It's the reverse of the previous lap. Can he brake as late as Declan Lee? No, he can't. Declan Lee absolutely dancing on the limit on the way through. A little bit of corrective steering going on, but Declan Lee still defending hard. John Langridge right on his tail, and a massive move into the corkscrew. Declan Lee is tucked on the inside. He's going to hold on through the final corner, but he'll be compromised unless he parks it on the apex. And now John Langridge looking for another side-by-side move. They've been locked together this whole half a lap here, and they continue into the next one. John Langridge has got the inside line as a target, but the next long right-hander will be the banking corner, and Declan Lee continues to hold off. A 1 minute 20.265. They're nowhere near that pace now as they fight and battle this hard. That's the fastest lap for Declan Lee. And again, John Langridge has the inside line as they go through Church Corner. It looks like he'll have a good run here, but Declan Lee, aware of the fact that the next big stop, he'll need to be on the inside, and he's on the correct side of the track for the big stop into Rocket Inn, and they get so close. Declan Lee heavy on the brakes once again. A big lockup from him, and nothing that John Langridge can do to pass him as he goes through at that point. Very good defending and attacking from both of them, just balancing, dancing around on the axles as they head then towards the corkscrew. This is where John Langridge went for a real surprise move down the inside on the previous lap, but it wasn't to be this one. No, it is to be. He's going for it again. It's all over the apex of the corner. But this is going to be the start of the final lap now, and we have a race-long battle for the first position. Fantastic stuff here for the Miata Trophy. Much closer racing at the start, at the head of the field than we had at Brands Hatch, and then again Declan Lee characteristically over the exit curb, using every inch possible, but he puts a wheel on the grass. He's stuck on the outside, and it's getting very excited up here at the commentary box, and my race director is enjoying this an awful lot as well. But Declan Lee just hanging on. How much longer can he hold on for? And he goes wide once again. Lee leaves the inside line. It's the inside for this corner, but he's drifting across the middle of the track. He's got every right to claim whatever line he wants to, but John Langridge will have a look into Rocket Inn, heavy on the brakes, but Declan Lee still the heavier of the two breakers. They almost can touch each other's wing mirrors. Declan Lee still with the correct side of the track for the longer corners, the longer right-handers, and he's going to have to be very defensive on the way into the corkscrew, because we know John Langridge likes a move into there. He's drifting out wide so that he can be in the right position. Declan Lee, short squirt down towards the corkscrew once again. And will there be a move? Absolutely. You bet your bottom dollar John's going to go for it. But Declan Lee will have the inside line coming through the final corner. Will he park it on the line? They're going to be side by side as they cross the line, and Declan Lee wins against John Langridge. Fantastic racing all race long. I'm so glad there's a lunch break after this, because my voice isn't going to hold up to that kind of treatment. But a great third place for Sycamore as well. Jack Sycamore securing third place. Dan Parent-Smith in fourth, very much on their own. And then comes Alex Miller in fifth. Stott, Fleet and Brook, your top eight. We'll confirm those results for you as we finish it off. Fastest lap did go to Declan Lee from very, very early on, because they were costing each other so much time as they went through the order. It looks like Cooper lost a bunch of places on that final lap, unfortunately, down to 13th position, promoting Fletcher and Worley. But hats off to Declan Lee and John Langridge for a terrific battle. I think there'll be a shake of hands after that one. A really, really hard fought and very cleanly fought race between the two of them. Fantastic stuff. He's using the horn as well, I can hear. So that they're so close to stock, these cars, that the horns are still working. But Declan Lee, hand up, out of the roll hoop. Really enjoying that race, absolutely. And Cochrane did bring the car home in the NA class to obviously secure the win and the full points on offer for him. But then the winner on his way into the pit lane, and a fantastic Miata Trophy first race of the day. There'll be more of that to come as the last race today as well, but if that one was anything to go by, we had a tremendous finish. That was Lee then finishing from Langridge, 1/10 of a second the gap at the end. They were side by side as they crossed the line. Then comes Sycamore and Parent-Smith. Miller in fifth, Stott in sixth. We have Fleet and Brook 7th and 8th, and then Wilkinson, Hughes and Smith in 10th position, some half a minute down in the end from first to 10th place. Couldn't have asked for a better race at the front though. And then finishing off your 15 car finishers, Fletcher, Raymond Worley, Rich Cooper, Cochrane, and then Judy Worley, who finished the race there in last position, but will pick up points nonetheless. Fastest lap went to Declan Lee, and he converted a second position on the grid into first place at the end with the fastest lap. So he'll be very pleased with that, and that will set the grid for the race still to come later on. But from us here at the Miata Trophy, we thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed rewatching that one again, and we will see you later on.